The contemplative path. After moving through the phase where you deny the issue or refuse to acknowledge that there is even an important issue to begin with, the next step order of business is to contemplate. Why is contemplation so important? Here's why. Contemplation allows your mind to move around variables and play with certain ideas, especially ideas that are not wholly acceptable to you at the moment. Of course, contemplation is not the same as taking action. These are two completely different things. To contemplate is to stop and linger in the present, to give the mind the space and time it needs to appreciate ideas and experiences. The moment a person begins contemplating, that would be the time that she would begin to make vital connections that she may have missed because of the busyness of life. These connections can lead to important realizations that will later aid a person in making important decisions for personal development. Another interesting aspect of contemplation is that it doesn't trigger the defensive mechanisms of the conscious mind that much. To recap, the human mind can be divided into two hemispheres or divisions. The conscious mind is responsible for filtering information and blocking input that might be harmful to a person's mental equilibrium. In a big way, the conscious mind is the guardian or gatekeeper of the mind. It makes knowledge and memory stability possible, but at the same time, if you allow your conscious filters to lead you too much, it may also prevent you from growing as a person, because the conscious mind is also naturally resistant to change. The second half or hemisphere of the mind is called the subconscious. Contrary to what many believe, the unconscious or subconscious mind isn't this weird twin brother of the conscious mind. It's not this dark area of the mind where bad and scary things happen. It was popular culture, books and movies, that created this inaccurate picture of the subconscious mind. In reality, the subconscious mind around 85% bigger than the conscious mind. So from an objective point of view, your mind, as you know it, is comprised chiefly of the subconscious mind. The top layer, or the manager, of the subconscious, or the part that makes contact with the outside world, reality, is the conscious mind. But the conscious mind is not the entire mind, not by a long shot. What is the function of the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind can be likened to a massive library workshop. This is the place in your mind where all your memories, knowledge and life experiences are tucked away neatly by the mind so you can review and use them any time. The subconscious mind is also responsible for processing information, old and new, and embedding the new information into the grand framework of your being. The embedding process is accomplished through the continuous creation and maintenance of values and beliefs, or what I'd like to call the core system of a person. Information and knowledge becomes actionable and practical precisely because the subconscious mind is there to process it and turn it into beliefs that can then be used in the proper context of a person's physical reality. Consider the adage, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." This adage, as old as it is actually a reminder for people to consume more natural food items. When a person hears this adage for the first time, she may not be able to fully grasp what it means, yet. And so the person's mind will take the information and tuck it away in the subconscious for further processing. Additional knowledge and life experiences will bolster the meaning and relevance of this bit of information, and eventually, the person will develop a corresponding belief regarding the consumption of fruits and vegetables. Where does contemplation take place? A person who contemplates is a person who brews information in the subconscious mind. The conscious mind actually switches off for the most part during contemplation, making it possible for the full power of the subconscious to work its magic on the new information. Since the conscious mind isn't tapped during the process of contemplation, overpowered mental filters are also avoided, making it possible for the person to create new frameworks or ways of doing things without being impeded by old values and beliefs. A person who is frustrated with life because she feels stuck or static would do well in trying contemplation and mindfulness. Contemplation comes naturally to everyone because it is a natural mental process. However, mindfulness is something else completely. How can a person become more mindful? Mindfulness is synonymous with living in the present. This is an old new concept that has become a cornerstone of self-improvement around the globe because it works against established norms of society that forces people to rush about, worried and anxious without even a hint of time for thinking, appreciating the present. The present time is where you are. You can worry all day about the future or the past, but the fact remains that you will always be in the present, no matter what happens, and so live in the present. Here are a few things you can do right now to become more mindful. 1. Be thankful, grateful. Gratefulness is both a state and conscious activity of remembering. When you are grateful, you reconnect with your life in a way that allows you to see all the goodness you've enjoyed thus far. To be grateful is to reach out to the universe and say thank you for every little thing that has made your life happier, better or easier. Master practitioners of the law of attraction, will say the same thing when it comes to thankfulness, too, that in the process of being thankful, you also end up attracting more of the same. You don't become thankful for the bad things in life, you acknowledge them but you are not thankful for them. And so, you cannot possibly attract the same bad things again because you practice being consciously grateful. Another wonderful effect of thankfulness is that it shows people that not everything is bad and that there are always more things to enjoy and be happy about in life than what was previously thought. Negative emotions like anger, frustration, sadness and anxiety make it appear that the negative outweigh the positive all the time. Gratefulness reverses this mental trend and makes it possible for people to see with their mind's eyes that this is not true. The world itself might be somewhat frightening because it thrives on change, but it also thrives on improvement and positivity. 2. Be proactive. To be proactive is to become a dynamic thinker and doer. Proactive individuals are constantly curious about the present and are focused on finding solutions to challenges. Worrying is never part of the larger equation because it saps a person's energy and makes thinking and doing nearly impossible. You can become a proactive individual by shedding your old anxious, worrying self and empowering yourself to take down all those negative issues and challenges one by one. My advice to everyone at this point is to not avoid old issues. Why? Old, unresolved issues may not sound relevant to you at the moment, but trust me, they always are. Unresolved challenges tend to slow down people precisely because they haven't been resolved. So find those old issues and begin taking them apart, one by one. If you feel overwhelmed by this new challenge-solving paradigm, I'd like to encourage everyone to take baby steps, instead. What are baby steps in this context? To take baby steps is to break down a challenge and its corresponding solution into successively smaller components, in order to make things more manageable. This technique is also useful for making goals and milestones more achievable. To illustrate, let's look at this particular goal. I want to lose 30 pounds. This is a common enough goal, correct? People set weight loss goals for themselves all the time. It's fantastic when a person decides to take it upon herself to improve her well-being by losing weight. But wait, if people already know how to set such goals, then why are so many still struggling with weight? The answer is simple: people know how to set goals but they don't quite know, from the bat, how to achieve them. The same analysis applies to challenges and solutions. A complex challenge may seem unsolvable if you don't take apart its constituent parts. A complex solution may seem impossible to put into practice if you don't know the smaller steps that contribute to the formation of the whole.